Hello, so good to meet you at this global motivational meeting. We are reading World Scriptures book, this God's word that inspire billions of people, families, communities, countries, and the whole world. And will help you to just read these quotes and practice in daily life. Think about them, and God will give you tips for prosperous life, happiness, salvation, and blessings. So let's see what God prepared for us today. Further. Actually, as we're reading this holy book from the beginning, please find all the chapters on my channel. There is suggested playlists. You could choose the best one and listen God's word, stay blessed all day. So for today is ethics of married life. Love in marriage is not an unfettered emotion. It survives and thrives through the discipline of married life. The path of marriage holds special challenges to a couple committed to a lifetime together. It serves as a crucible for refining character and a school for perfecting love. Scriptures spell out some of the traditional ethical rules that have marriage through the ages. They spell out different by complementary roles in the household. The husbands should honor their wives and wives should obey their husbands. Both spouses should be faithful, sharing everything together and never contemplating divorce. While occasionally this traditional role have been made to justify a double standard when rightly understood, they describe reciprocal and mutual responsibilities. This is about chapter 20, women rights for discussion equality between the sexes and larger society. Father Moon teaches that the ideal of marriage is when the spouse live for the sake of others, of each other. The husband respects his wife as God's daughter, and the wife respects her husband as God's son. Love is the ultimate basis of the equality of husband and wife. The core ethic of conjugal love: spouses are subject to each other. First quote, be subject to one another out of the revenge for Christ. Wives be subject to your husband as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its savior. As the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives also be subject of everything in their husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up to her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of the water with the word, that he might present the church to himself in the splendor without spot of wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. Even so, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no man ever hates his own flesh, but nourishes it and cherishes it as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is a profound one, and I am saying that it refers to Christ and the church. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Another quote, you wives are as tilt to you, so approach you tilt when or how you will, but do some good act for your souls beforehand and fear God. Further, let's read quotes from the second Messiah, Father Simon. The way of love is to exalt your spouse 1,000 times above yourself. God went through a course of absolute obedience to humanity to reach the realm when he could love us as his object partners. A husband and wife married in God's love desire to practice just such a high standard of love. The standard of love that God desires from his object partner. Each partner gives the other absolute obedience. Each continually gives and forget what he or she has given. From that practice, the flower of love blooms between the husband and wife. You who were born as a woman should have the attitude that you will love your husband as God, and as the representative of all humanity. Unless you love him more than anyone in the world, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Likewise, you men should know that unless you love only one woman and love her as God and the representative of all humanity, you cannot love God or humanity. A wife who lives with true love attends her husband as God. Moreover, she attends him as she would attend Christ the Lord. Christ is the King of Kings, therefore she attends her husband like a king. When she rejoices in her husband, as if she were beholding the Lord, she is lifted up to the value of God's partner. And as God's partner, she would manifest the value of God. Likewise, a husband with true love attends his wife as God, as the bride of Christ, and as queen. You should have absolute obedience, absolute sacrifice, and absolute love for God. But before practicing all this for God, first practice it for your wife or for your husband. What is the most valuable part of the human body? It is the love organ. What is the love organ? It is the reproductive organ. Does your reproductive organ belong to you? No, it belongs to your spouse. Who decided that? God. It is the way God created heaven and earth. Everything in creation was created for love. Therefore, no creature has its reproductive organ for its own sake. Each achieves love by offering its reproductive organ to its partner. Connecting with your partner is the only way to complete love. This is the heavenly law. True love is absolute, unique, and unchanging. Do you need true love? Only when you are connected to true love can you become an owner of love who is absolute, unique, and changing. What does this mean? It means that a man alone cannot be an owner of true love. He can perfect his love only through connecting with his counterpart, who is the owner of his reproductive organ. A woman can perfect her love only when she connects to true love. This means when she takes ownership of her husband's reproductive organ and her husband takes ownership of her. A husband holds the key to his wife's holy place, and the wife holds the key to her husband's holy place. No one can enter it without the key, which is conferred by marriage. Does the man's sexual organ belong to the man or his wife? It was not created for the man, but for the woman. Do you understand? Since the male organ was created for a woman, it belongs to the woman. Therefore, you man cannot use it as you wish. Only your wife can use your organ as she wishes. This is the heavenly law. When all men and women recognize that their sexual organ belongs to their spouse and not to themselves, they will bow their heads and become humble when they receive their spouse's love. Love came to you only from your partner. If you do not live for the sake of your partner, what you are doing is not love. There is a ethic between husband and wife. A wife should not just walk about the house naked out of a desire to entice her husband. She should first ask him, "It is okay if I do this?" Likewise, if his wife is fast asleep, a husband should not wake up her saying, "Honey, come here." Even in bed, the couple should be courteous and respectful to each other. Yeah, so powerful quotes for today. If you have difficulties today, please watch one more time this video, share this video as we end this billion happy life subscribers marathon share these God's words, and contact me for consultation, cooperation, and become a member of this Heavenly Parents Holy Community globally. The contacts are below. Receive Heavenly Kingdom citizenship right now. Turn on suggestion playlist and listen God's word all the day. Stay blessed and see you tomorrow with more powerful quotes. Yours, Nicolae.